Determining if a prenuptial agreement is valid and enforceable in Singapore isn't entirely simple. When a divorce happens, the court looks closely at the prenuptial agreement and can choose not to enforce the agreement if it goes against the Women's Charter. Prenuptial agreements made under foreign laws by foreign nationals might carry more weight if those laws don't go against Singapore's public policy. What the court will consider will include some of the following things. Prenuptial agreements, sometimes called antenuptial agreements, are agreements a couple makes before marriage. These agreements outline what will happen if they ever get a divorce. They can cover financial support, property division, as well as child-related matters. So why do people even get a prenuptial agreement? Couples sometimes use prenuptial agreements to plan what would happen if they eventually divorce. It's something like a roadmap for handling essential issues, like who gets what property, how much financial support should be provided, or who will have custody of the children. Prenuptial agreements are like contracts. This means they need to follow basic contract rules. They must be fair, not based on lies or pressure, and both parties must get something in return. Are prenuptial agreements valid in Singapore? Determining if a prenuptial agreement is valid and enforceable in Singapore isn't entirely simple. When a divorce happens, the court looks closely at the prenuptial agreement and can choose not to enforce the agreement if it goes against the Women's Charter. What the court will consider will include some of the following things. The court will check if the agreement is fair and supports the wife or children enough. The court is particularly careful when it comes to agreements regarding child custody. The court assumes custody agreements are not enforceable unless they're in the best interests of the children. The court will finally decide how much weight to exactly give the agreement based on the specific situation of each case. Prenuptial agreements made under foreign laws by foreign nationals might carry more weight if those laws don't go against Singapore's public policy. What can be dealt with in a prenuptial agreement? You can include many things in a prenuptial agreement related to your marriage. This can include who owns what property will be divided if you separate or divorce, handling debts, providing financial support after divorce, and even deciding child custody. Some considerations include the following things. Child custody arrangements must be in the child's best interests to be enforceable. Other matters like property ownership and financial support can be addressed more flexibly. What are the typical terms in a prenuptial agreement then? Prenuptial agreements typically cover issues such as the following. Ownership of property. This is to decide who owns what, especially if you bring significant assets into the marriage. Division of property. This is to plan how property will be divided if you separate or divorce, or if one spouse passes away. Debts and liabilities. This is to clarify who is responsible for debts and financial obligations. Maintenance. This is to specify how much financial support one spouse will provide to the other after a divorce. The governing law. This is to determine which laws will apply to your agreement. Remember, prenuptial agreements can be tailored to fit your unique needs, so you can discuss and decide on these terms together before your marriage. So now you know. If you found this helpful, follow and subscribe to our channel for more legal things.